Welcome to a bonus episode of My BrainWise Coach. I am Bastian.
And I'm Phil Dixon.
And we are so excited to bring you a bonus episode the day after Thanksgiving to talk about the neuroscience of Black Friday. But before we just dive in, Phil, I do want to just honor, people might be asking, why do I see 1K behind you? On Tuesday of this week, we officially hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So round of applause again for our BrainWise community and all of our friends who are joining us along this journey. We're so happy that you're with us. But Phil, we had seen a lot of people were posting or talking about Black Friday. Of course, it's been a United States kind of tradition after Thanksgiving for a number of years, really long time. And I thought it'd be really interesting to share with our BrainWise friends, what is the neuroscience behind it? Because a lot of people look forward to it.
So first of all, I did a bit of research after we had that discussion and found it is actually a global phenomenon now. I think it was like $38 billion was spent here in the US. Jeez. And it's something like $700 billion spent on Black Friday around the world.
Wow.
It did say, the research said, yes, it started right here, but over the last couple of decades, it's spread throughout. So Amazing. Pretty important for everybody. Mm-hmm. So let's now just take a quick look at what's going on in our brains. And first of all, it's not benign. It's deliberately constructed to tap into very powerful brain mechanisms. Because on the one hand, it creates excitement and reward. You get good deals on prices. But there's also a large amount of stress for people, a drive towards impulsivity, and in many cases, regret afterwards. What do they call it?
Buyer's remorse.
Yeah. And the neuroscience actually shows that the event is probably engineered to hijack our decision-making systems and to exploit our brain's urges or surges of dopamine. We get driven by scarcity, and we get driven into bad decisions by overload. One of the pieces said, in essence, Black Friday is a neuromarketing masterclass.
Mm-hmm. It is.
And so it's designed perfectly. It's designed to activate those reward circuits while suppressing rational control.
Right.
And it creates a sort of linear, I won't call it a cycle, but it's excitement drives impulsivity, which can lead to stress and then regret.
Wow.
The same brain circuits that make it thrilling for some people also make it risky.
And it's amazing because the event has actually evolved over the number of years, especially post-COVID, because before it was just the Friday after, then they did Cyber Monday, I think, which was the Monday after or something like that. But you had to go into the store. And I remember people would get your article, your advertisements weeks in advance, and you would scout out where you're going to go. People would camp out in their tents outside the stores. That literally happened. And unfortunately, there were actually some people who were trampled to death a couple of years because of just the sheer volume of people trying to get in. And so it's just, that part is highly unfortunate that has happened. And thankfully, it doesn't seem like that's happening anymore, or it doesn't as often anyways. But it's just an amazing event that really drives people to go out and shop. And retail establishments, they may take a big discount on it, but they depend on this fourth quarter, specifically right around this time, to make it into the black on their P&L.
Yeah, absolutely. And that links straight into the first point I was going to make, is that the thrill of Black Friday and the activity, the neuroscience activity that's going on in the brain actually happens a long while beforehand, because anticipation activates a very complex set of networks in the brain, combining prediction, emotion, and motivation.
Wow.
And many neuroscientists will actually say that some of that behavior shaping activity is more powerful than the actual outcome itself.
Wow.
So if you anticipate something, in many cases, the reward you get from the anticipation actually is better than the reward you get from the event.
Amazing.
That's amazing. So first of all, it's dopamine that drives the thrill of what's coming, not just when it arrives, but in the anticipation of it. The prefrontal cortex that we've talked about that, it simulates future scenarios. It starts to imagine the outcome, imagine what we're going to do with whatever it is we're buying, and plans our response. And so this helps us actually to prepare. This is evolution at work. It helps us to prepare but it also can feel anxious if you may not get the gift or you may not get that thing that you're trying to buy. And that brings in the amygdala, which if the amygdala interprets that you're not going to get it, it feels like it's danger. And so we get a heightened level of vigilance and emotional arousal. And when you were describing that crowd that trampled somebody, if anybody was in that crowd afterwards, they go, oh my gosh, did I do that?
But it's interesting because I'm not sure if you're a fan of the Golden Girls show, but I love it. And there's an episode where they're talking right around, I don't know if it was Black Friday or preparing for Christmas. Dorothy was talking about how she trampled. Obviously, the person did not pass away, but she plowed over someone else to get a Spider-Man hat or something like that for her daughter or her grandson. And it's obviously that was back in the 80s. So it's something that around getting deals, getting gifts, doing all this, it's just amazing to see how it really impacts our brain.
It is. And it's got some positive impacts. So let's talk about those for a moment. Discounts do trigger reward system. When the actual price you pay is lower than you expect, dopamine gets released and it makes the deal feel irresistible. And so you can actually get genuine excitement and pleasure out of it. If you're going shopping with friends, then there's a sort of, a joint shared experience, and that increases social bonding, which releases oxytocin and things like that. So that feels good as well. We love novelty. And so we start to explore, and we're curious, and we might buy something that we would never have bought before. Browsing new products actually engages us slightly more because there's a balance between predicting what we're going to see and discovery of something. And then goal fulfillment. So when we actually get something that we planned for and we've wanted for a while, it does satisfy our need for certainty. And so on the positive side, that's all there. But you could say that about any shopping experience. There's a lot that's oriented specifically towards Black Friday, which is an encouragement towards impulse buying. You go in a store, you go online, and something catches your eye, and you go, oh, yeah, that's a great deal. You didn't actually need it. You didn't actually ever think about wanting it beforehand. It's an impulse buy. Sometimes you get to the point where if there's so many choices, your brain gets overloaded. There's been a famous experiment done on selling, I think it was selling jam. And if people had a choice of 4 or 6 items, then they would buy. If they went up to 20, they get overloaded and they wouldn't buy. And the actual total sales of jam went down. And also when you get countdown timers, when you've got 12 hours, 6 minutes and 32 seconds to do this, or there are 16 left in the store. Those are all activating the amygdala into a threat state. Oh, I might miss out. The stress of online, the stress of going into a store and doing things online, if you've got a low tolerance for uncertainty and maybe you're getting fatigued, that can trigger anxiety. Scarcity is one of Cialdini's 6 main drivers of influence. If something says, hey, we've only got 5 left, this is a rare item, or this is a unique opportunity, that can push you into buying things that you might later regret. And then, of course, there's the old, we mentioned just now, post-purchase regret, buyer's remorse, etc., especially for those people who maybe overspend, especially in this economy that we're in now. And every part of the brain is responding in some way. The right hemisphere responds to social cues, reward anticipation, and urgency. The left hemisphere likes to keep up with decisions, but if they're rapid fire, can become overwhelmed.
Right.
And all of this, believe it or not, is not done for your benefit. It's carefully engineered by the marketing group in whatever place you're looking at.
Which I think is just amazing. When you were talking about the buyer's remorse, this time of year is really good for retail establishments, but then January of the following year is usually not as positive because people are returning and returns are so much higher. And I think one of the things that we might talk about one day, Phil, is an add-on to this is go through the neuroscience of like how shopping retail establishments are set up, because they're not set up haphazardly. There's a lot of intentionality behind why they put certain things where they do, the colors that they use on certain the price tags, how they price things, even down to the granular level of instead of it being $40, it's $39.99 because it helps you out if you actually feel like you're getting a better deal versus it being $40. There's so much science that goes into it, which is why I choose one. I always put my blinders on when I go into the shopping and play or to the Aldi or Walmart, or when I'm online, I try to be really careful because you can get really sucked in.
Yes, there's a lot of science. And yes, it's a great idea. If anybody in our listening audience, our BrainWise listeners want to, I've actually got people know by now that I'm a nerd at heart. So I actually have a mapping of the activities that are going on in the brain, in the reward pathways, the amygdala, the PFC, the hippocampus, all parts of the brain. If you want to know what's going on at any given point in time, then give us a nudge, leave a message for us, and I'll send you that map.
Yeah.
So a couple of things we can do to have a better time.
Okay.
And that is, and I'm going to look at 5 different areas here very quickly. One is to do with the prefrontal cortex. And the prefrontal cortex, part of what it's doing is planning and control. Mm-hmm. And so first of all, make a list. What is it you actually are looking for before the sales start?
Right.
So take some time in the morning to say, what is it I really want to do? I know a lot of people have to set budgets these days, but setting a budget, decide what your spending amount limit is and stop there. Give yourself a 24-hour pause. You put it in the cart, leave it there for 24 hours, and then go back and buy it. Mm-hmm. That gives your brain an opportunity to go, actually, no, I don't need that.
I do that all the time. My Amazon cart will fill up, and then I'll go back in the next day and go, Cole, you were really stupid that day. Take that one out.
It's a great idea because it takes you out of the stress, re-engages your self-control, and then you could go, no, it's much more rational.
Right.
Timing. If you're going to buy, do it in the morning if you can. You've got more self-control in the morning. Your prefrontal cortex is not depleted. At 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening, your self-control is gone out the window.
I bet that's why some of these retailers, Phil, have changed where they've got some deals that start like around midnight.
Yeah.
Because it used to be at 5 a.m. that you would have to get your deals. Now they'll start them much earlier, especially online, or they'll do different times of the day. I bet that's a big part of it.
I bet it is. I absolutely bet it is. What is your definition of success? Mm-hmm. Is it to get a gift you wanted? Is it to get slightly better quality than you could otherwise afford? Is it I'm saving the maximum amount of money? Define what your pathway is. And we've talked a lot about goal setting and what makes it ideal for you. Getting 10 gifts, having a good time, whatever it might be. Anyway, those are some of the things that you can do in advance. While you're actually shopping, especially online, ignore the countdown timers. Just put a little sticky over them on your computer or something so you can't see them, because that is activating your amygdala. Mm-hmm. Avoid crowded environments. If you're going to go out to shop, do it on off-peak hours. It reduces your stress. It reduces your impulsivity. Because if we're for many of us, especially introverts, if they're in a crowded environment, they may just buy the first thing they can in order to get out of the crowd. So go off-peak hours and practice. If you find yourself getting stressed, walk outside, do 2 minutes of deep breathing, take a short break, do something different. If you're at the computer, get up, stand up, go turn around, walk out, do jumping jacks, whatever it might be. But give yourself a change.
And I think one more, Phil, that related to what you were just talking about, especially if you're going out into public, is remember that there will always be another deal. This isn't the last one. And remember, we talked about our characters not too long ago. What character are you taking into the shopping plaza or into the retail establishment? Because we don't want to be seen, right? Or at least I don't. I can only speak from my perspective. I don't want to be seen as rude or insensitive or whatever the word is. I want to be showing up as a kind and compassionate person. And sometimes when we're in those high stress environments and we're trying to get the best deal and there's a limited amount, a different character shows up at Walmart or at Target or wherever it is you go to shop to get your goods because you want to be the person that gets it. But remember, there's always going to be another deal. And what character are you bringing? Because you don't want to leave a lasting impression with someone else that is counter to your ultimate intention.
Absolutely. And a couple of tricks that you can use. If you're tempted to buy something on an impulse, ask, would you actually buy it if it was at full price? That actually might reframe the whole thing about whether you need it or not.
Right.
The other is to track your purchases. Either if you've got a list, cross them off the list. And if you don't have a list, write down each item that you bought. And once you see how many things you're buying, sometimes it lowers the thrill of getting, just one more thing. And see whether you can, reframe it. Can you channel the excitement into having a walk with a friend or going out for a meal or stopping to have lunch instead of making another purchase? Mm-hmm. There's another whole area on is it value you're getting or validation that you're getting? Right. Also, we talked about Thanksgiving on gratitude. Again, taking a look at that list and being thankful for those things that you have actually elected to buy. Be grateful for the ones you already have.
Right.
And this is something you could actually do beforehand, and that is unsubscribe from those emails that you get that solicit your interest. Especially, get rid of those that you're not interested in anyway. Mm-hmm. And then get rid of those, unsubscribe from those that you know you might be tempted by.
Right.
So you can do that beforehand. We talked a little bit about the social aspects of going shopping with somebody else. But going shopping with somebody else can also mean, hey, let's keep each other accountable.
Right.
Also, make a list of what money you saved by not buying something. And that can actually give you a reward. And then the last one is just change the whole narrative. Black Friday, or now it's become Black Fortnight or 2 weeks, whatever it is. Give it an opportunity where you turn around and say, I'm going to practice the discipline of not buying rather than just indulging yourself. Bless you.
Thank you. I think it's fabulous. And by no means, I think, Phil, are we discouraging people from participating in Black Friday. Because if it's something that brings you joy and you have the financial means to do it, we highly encourage you to go out and shop and help the economy, get the things that you want to get, but do it in a way that makes the most sense for your brain is really what we're trying to do and trying to share anyways. And also give people some tips and tricks so that we're not inadvertently hijacked along the journey where the marketing professionals have captured our attention and we really probably didn't need to do that. And we can avoid buyer's remorse because there is some fun that people have in Black Friday shopping and getting deals, but all things in balance, I think, is really the perspective that we're sharing and doing it in such a way that you can thoroughly enjoy the full experience and not just for a momentary period.
Yeah. In fact, we can use our tag, be brainwise, shop brainwisely.
There we go.
Shop wise.
I love it. I think it's great. I think the only other thing I would suggest is social media has also taken on a perspective of helping to encourage shopping through influencers and other things. So if you're finding yourself getting overwhelmed with the number of items or whatever it is, take a break from social media for a little bit prior to, because then you can actually determine, is this an item that I actually want? Or am I purchasing it because someone that I follow has suggested it? And not that it's a bad thing to do that. I think it's great. And I would never want to encroach on influencers' ability to make money, but take a moment to determine, is that actually what you want? Because I know I personally followed somebody and then I went and bought this little, I don't know, which very rarely does it happen. But after that, I was like, it can't happen anymore. I bought this little mop thing, I don't know, electric scrubber, and never used it. But I bought it because I saw an influencer using it. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. And it wasn't very expensive. But over time, if you do that too frequently, then the total becomes expensive. So anyways, I think I now take a step back and go, am I actually going to use that? Or am I just simply interested because someone else is interested in it? Yeah. Another tip to follow, Not encroaching though. I love influencers' ability to make money. I think it's a great thing for them. Just take a moment to determine, is this what I really need? And then if it is, buy it. And if it's not, move on. And I'm sure they'll be sharing the next item that they're interested in the future.
Okay.
So very good. Go ahead, Phil.
Enjoy whatever it is. I'm not a shopper, so I won't be going out on Black Friday. In fact, to me, that would be one of the worst places I'd be out with the crowd shopping on Friday.
Yeah, I don't do it in person anymore. I will do a little bit of deal shopping because I love a good deal, but usually it's things that I know we need that we don't need right away. Like I just bought a couple of Fire Sticks because I'm trying to help us save some money on some other stuff, see if it works. And they're cheaper right now than if you were to buy them at full price. But I do enjoy getting a good deal. I enjoy that thrill that I actually got a couple of things for 84 cents on Amazon, which I was like, okay, I can buy a few things for 84 cents. That's not a splurge. But anyways, enjoy your Thanksgiving holiday. Enjoy Black Friday shopping or Cyber Monday, and continue to stay curious, stay compassionate, and always stay brainwise.
Stay brainwise.